What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion, and it's time for this Diavel V4 to go on a real diet. So guys, by a diet, I meant that this bike's gonna get some real weight loss because it's the new year. If you watched our last episode, we said that we're putting this bike on a weight loss program, just like everybody else's New Year's resolution. The Diavel V4's resolution was to lose as much weight as possible. We have over here our Rapid TEK wheels by BST. We went with the gloss finish, and these are gonna save a lot of weight, guys. So I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm gonna weigh these right now, and then once we're done, I'll rip the wheels and tires off this motorcycle, and then we'll weigh the stock configuration so that we could see how much weight we've lost. So this is the front wheel. I'll put the spacers to be fair. So these are weighing at 6.24 pounds. And then our rear wheel, I think this is the most impressive looking rear wheel of all. It has a really nice dish over here. Let's see how much this weighs. This might be a challenge to weigh it. Let's try it like this. Doesn't fit under here. Or it does. There we go. Let me stop it from spinning. And this wheel only weighs at 8.22 pounds. Along the way, we also have upgrades. So we're going to be upgrading our rotors since the wheels are going to be off. We have some beautiful Brembo T-drive rotors that I'm going to install on the front wheels. Less talking, more walking. Let me get on the way and get these things off the bike. So guys, on the last episode, you guys saw us use our wheel tool. So to take out the sprocket carrier nut that we had on the left side of the bike. And it's the same tool that we're going to use to remove our wheel nut in the back and our wheel nuts in the front. And it's a multi-tool, so for this side, you're gonna have to use this insert because it just changed the diameter. If you didn't know, the whole diameter on each side of the rear wheel on the Diavel V4 is not the same, and that's why you have this insert. Let me go ahead and try to break this nut free right now. This is our front wheel off, guys. It's pretty heavy. I'm gonna leave it aside and I'm gonna just jump into the front side now. So for the front wheel, you just use this side of the tool. I'm just gonna loosen it, and then we'll put the bike on the front stand and deal with all the axle pinch bolts and also our caliper bolts as well. And this is our front wheel off, guys. It is pretty heavy as well. The bike's not on the lift because our lift is not long enough to run a front and rear stand safely on it. That's why it's on the ground. It's not a problem. This setup here is not a product placement, guys. I just wanted to find a way to safely rest the calipers. Our head lift stand actually has a caliper stay on it, which we hook the calipers on. But I can't see where I could put it because I have to take off some of the pieces at least, maybe to run the head lift stand. And this was a little easier and quicker. So, okay, before we go any further, we're gonna be installing our rotors onto our wheels. I have our pizza box here. These things always remind me of pizza boxes for some reason and make me really hungry when we're doing these things. But this is our T-drive rotors. Number one, I gotta do this because you wanna have your rotors on when you're balancing your wheel. But I also want to double check because these are not confirmed fitment for the Diavel V4 by Brembo. It's the T-drive floating rotors. We don't have a brake upgrade guide for the Diavel V4 yet, but if you want to know what the floating rotors do, we have a Panigale V4 brake upgrade guide video so that you guys can see what all this stuff does. It also applies to this motorcycle. It's just they're not the same exact parts, just different part numbers. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our stock ABS ring. That's the ring on the wheel that is for your ABS sensor, and then mount up the rotors along with it. We're using our Pro-Tie titanium rotor bolts as well. So while we're upgrading, let's make it even lighter. But let me get this on. Let's verify the fitment with the caliper spacing and everything intact. And then we'll go put some tires on these wheels. Well, that's our rotors installed. Now I'm just gonna test it on the bike to make sure these rotors are in the right offset, and then it's tire time. So yes, confirmed, the rotors are the correct rotors. Just like every other video that we have, guys, the products that we use on our videos are in the links in the description below. So go check them out. Also, for some of the videos like the chain video and the wheel videos like this, we'll put the tools that we use that we have available for you guys. It'll be in the link as well. They'll be separate, so it'll say products and tools or parts and tools, whatever that we decide to put on there at the time. But now let me just go get some tires installed on these, and then we could really see the true glory of the Diavel V4 in its lightweight form. Guys, it's the next day. You could probably tell by my shirt it's changed, and also probably my beard is a little longer. But we got our tires mounted on our BST Rapid TEK wheels. They look amazing. So we did go with brand new tires. It's the same Diablo Rosso 3 tires that was on the bike. So there's no change in the tires, it's just brand new. The tires on that bike only had 200 miles, but we just decided to put new tires. I don't know what looks better, a brand new tire or a well-used tire, and the tires weren't well used anyway, so we just decided to get these. This is the front wheel, so we had installed our rotors, our ABS ring, and everything else along so that we could actually balance them with everything on it, because that's the way to do it. You have to have everything on the wheel to balance it. And we got the tires taken off the stock wheels, so let's go ahead and weigh those stock wheels, and let's see how much weight we saved. I think by just carrying them, it's gonna be a substantial amount of weight. I don't think we've ever saved this much weight with any mod ever, so let's figure it out and see how much we saved. The front BST Rapid TEK wheels for the Diavel V4 were weighing in at 6.24 pounds, and the rear wheels were at 8.22 pounds, which brings it up to 14.46 pounds in total for the front and rear wheels for the BST Rapid TEKs. Let's take a look how much this rear wheel weighs. The stock rear wheel, it's a really pretty wheel, don't get me wrong, I actually really like the look of it, but you guys don't know how much this weighs yet. Watch, let's put this on the scale. So the rear wheel weighs at 15.06 pounds. What's crazy is that this rear wheel weighs more than total of the front and rear BST Rapid TEK wheels for the Diavel V4. And let's just put that front wheel on there, and then let's do the calculation to see how much weight we saved. This is our front wheel. The front wheel weighs 10.58 pounds. That's a heavy front wheel. So let's do the calculation real quick. So the front and rear wheels weigh 25.64 pounds, guys. That's a heavy wheel package. So we'll negate 14.46 off of that. We saved 11.18 pounds. So almost 11.2 pounds of weight savings just by the wheels. That's kind of crazy. That's a big number. I'm really happy. The bike actually felt really agile for its size. I really wonder how it's gonna feel like once I mount everything and take it for a ride. But before that, let's get on the bike. Let's get the wheels on the bike. And I also have an extra piece that we're gonna add on, but I'm gonna show that in the front of the bike. Let me put the rear wheel on. I think it's the prettier of the two wheels because the front wheel is covered by the big rotors. But let's get that rear wheel on, and then we'll work on the front side. And then we'll call this video done. And then I'll definitely be taking this bike out for a ride, and I'll tell you guys my first impressions, what it feels like to lose 11.2 pounds off your wheels of your Diavel V4. So the wheel's ready to go on. We're gonna use our TWM wheel nut. This is not usually us. There's a bit of an absence of color, guys, for what we're doing. So we're gonna run black nuts on a carbon wheel. It doesn't stand out much, but don't forget this bike's gonna be transformed into full carbon very soon. It's gonna get a very special paint job. It's not gonna stay carbon. So we're being mindful of the future progress of the motorcycle, because I'm not gonna tell you what color it's gonna be, but definitely if you put red, it's not gonna match it, because this Ducati is not gonna stay red. But you gotta stay tuned. Before that, let's do this. I'm so excited. This is our new front fender, guys, and this is the part that I said that we're going to change. I just want to show you guys something. This is a Ducati Performance product, and I want to set some expectations for everybody, right? When you get carbon fiber, I don't think there is such thing as a perfect carbon piece, especially something that has this many shapes and forms to it. So look, this is Ducati Performance. It came from Ducati Performance to us. If you take a look, there are creases here. There is some more creases here. The weave isn't exactly perfect on where it's gonna sit right by the fork tubes. Again, you'll never see that, but I know that some people get alarmed when they see it and they try to look at it very closely. Look, even here, the weave is not even continuous here, so this has been patched. So I just wanna make sure that when you guys are buying products, I think there should be some expectations. Some things are okay and some things are not. To me, I'm very picky. This is perfectly fine, but if I want to nitpick, I could go on for a couple more minutes and say this and that about it. But then again, when you get a brand name product like Full 6 or Ducati Performance, you know at least that you're getting a carbon fiber product that was made with care and to the best possible way. And also, trust me, carbon fiber products, not all the same. They might look the same, they don't weigh the same, they don't fit the bike the same, you know, so just keep that in mind. But we're gonna go ahead with this. Eventually the front fender will be replaced. We have a Full 6 one that's gonna go in for paint. But while we're here, I just thought that maybe we'll just change it so that there's no big black plastic that's sitting on top of our beautiful BST wheels. Let me just quickly swap these over, and then we'll put the front wheel on the bike. We'll lower it, torque everything down, and then it'll be done, because I really want to take this for a ride. Stock fender is off. Since we have our scale turned on, let's just weigh it. Again, we're going to do a final weight of the bike when we're done with the bike, but this is weighing at 1.02 pounds. And then the Ducati Performance one is going to weigh in at 0.56 pounds, so almost half the weight. It's just almost half the weight, but again, it's half a pound saved here, half a pound there. It starts adding out throughout the motorcycle and we get a final weight on the bike. Let me put this on, the wheel on, and we'll be done. Guys, the front axle is done. By front axle, I mean the front wheel, the calipers, and the front axle. Everything is torqued. Now, I kind of don't want to leave it like this. We have our TWM axle sliders. I don't know if it's going to fit. It's one of those things that we haven't tested yet, and the manufacturer does not state any fitment. So we're just going to try to install these. If they fit, it's going to be great. It's going to kind of finish off the front axle for us. Guys, look at the smile in my face. This thing looks absolutely amazing. That wheel is so wide, and BST just nailed it with putting so much dish on the rear wheel. Just to recap, what did we install? We installed our BST Rapid TEK wheels wrapped with brand new rubber, and we did install our T-drive rotors with our Pro-Tie bolts in the front and our TWM front axle slider as well. And just looking at the bike, I think it looks like a proper sport tourer, or a super tourer as Ducati calls it. And this is not it for the bike, guys. We have loads more mods coming to it, and we're gonna paint it. So I don't know if you guys wanna try to guess what color we wanna paint it, put it in the comments below, because maybe we'll get inspired by you guys. I think we're pretty much set, and we're not gonna give up what color it is yet, but maybe you guys will come up with some wild color that we think is gonna look really good on it. I also want to mention, we saved over 11 pounds off the wheels. I've never, ever had that big of a weight savings from changing wheels on a motorcycle. I'm really, really excited to ride this. You can expect a first ride with the BST Rapid TEK on the Ducati Diavel V4 video coming shortly, because I'm not gonna ride it. I wanna first gear up, get my camera rolling to give you guys my honest impressions on what it feels like to lose 11 pounds. And we're gonna continue on, guys. There's loads more stuff coming out for this motorcycle, as I mentioned. And I wanna mention again, all the products that we use will be in the description below. The links will be there, and some of the tools that are specialty tools to this motorcycle will be there as well. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.